Hi, I'm back, and today I want to share with you about one of the requests, one of the questions that I often get asked by a lot of managers and leaders of the organizations, and they always pose me this question: how do I get my team to engage? How do I engage my team? How do I get my team to buy into our visions? Right, so we want them to be the active participants of the movement, right, to achieve our company vision rather than a passive contributor. So we want them to play an active role. How do we get their buy-in, right? How do we get the buy-in from our staff, or to get them inspired, okay, to follow us to where we want to go? Right? So a lot of people ask me that question. So, and of course, that's not an easy question to answer. But I do want to give you my perspective, right? Having been working in US and also in Asia, so understand the Western philosophy as well as the Oriental, the philosophy. And so I want to give my take on this. So I think it's important that you want to get your team. If you want to get your team buy-in, right, you got to start to get them to involve in the beginning when you are setting your vision. So don't call for a meeting. I see a lot of managers or leaders, what they do is they call for a town hall meeting. When they call for a town hall meeting, when they have all their staff inside the organization, and then they announce to them, hey, this is our next 3-year plan. This is what we're going to do, and who's going to do what, and then so you're going to do your part. So this is, I call it the top-down approach. This kind of approach may not work anymore. It's not as effective anymore, especially in the context that we live in today. Is an environment full with uncertainty. All right, I call it the VUCAT world. Right, so you probably heard about VUCA, but I call it the VUCAT. So VACAD. So what does it stand for? V stands for volatility. All right, so we live in a world which is very volatile. All right, and then O stands for VUCAT. Okay, so we live in this VUCAT world. A lot of you probably heard about VUCA, V-U-C-A, but I call it the VUCAT, V-A-C-A-D. So what is this VUCAT world means? V stands for volatility. So no doubt, today we are living in an environment, the business environment, that's highly volatile, all right? And U is uncertainty. So it's very uncertain. We don't really know what's going to happen in the next 6 months as well, all right? And then C stands for complexity. It's highly complex, okay, because of this new technology and the new changes that happen every second. And then A stands for ambiguity. So it's very ambiguous. It's not very clear. So we need to find out. So in order for us to really find out where our path is, we need to stay curious, okay, and ask us the right question. And then the D stands for disruption. Okay, we live in the age of major disruption. If people ask you, which generation were you born? I think all of us, we can say we were born in the COVID-19 generations. Okay, all right. So this is the generation, COVID-19 is the major disruptions in the whole world, all right, in this 21st century. Now, so coming back to the question is, how do we engage our staff and get buy-in, from our vision, so that they feel inspired by it and they want to be part of it, so that they can move on their own. Okay, and like I said, it's really important that you want to do this start from the beginning. Okay, so when you are setting your vision, all right, your strategic planning, your strategic directions for the next few years, next 3 years, so you want to involve your staff. So this is the way, what I mean by you want to involve them since the beginning. So you want them to feel engaged, they have a say. You want them to feel like their voices are being heard by the management. So this is what I call the participative kind of management style. So you want to get your people involved in the process of setting your strategic objective or directions for the next few years to come. All right, so this is really, really important. And then another very important part, how do you get buy-in from them, is you got to have that you got to really encourage them, right? Give them a lot of encouragement, and you got to set a new culture. I call it the entrepreneurial kind of spirit. So this is a culture that be able to get your company moving and going forward, the entrepreneurial spirit. So I think that is the cultures that is so important in this in the world today. So every employee must work, must think, must live like an entrepreneur, taking all in like this is their company. This is as if they are running their own company. All right, so they need to have that entrepreneurial mindset rather than an employee mindset. So I think that is the major difference maker. So how can you create an environment that allow people, okay, to have this kind of, to adopt this kind of mindset? I think that is some question. This is the question I want to ask you and perhaps get you to think. How can you create an environment, right, that allow your people to participate, to engage, and they have this entrepreneurial mindset? Because I believe this mindset is going to bring your organizations to the next level.